Musburger with her cross action all over the place. On 3rd and goal, Jim Smith just dropped a perfect touchdown pass from Terry Bradshaw. They're struggling against Cleveland. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots have turned the ball over 4 times today in their showdown against the Los Angeles Rams. They trail the Rams 17-14 in the 4th. Atlanta easy, 31-7. So the Rams have to win to stay within a game of the Falcons in the NFC West. Meanwhile, the Giants lead the Packers by 10 points, 3 touchdown passes from Sims to Gray in that game. There's the situation. 13-7, and the Steelers now have a 4th and goal, and Bradshaw and Knoll are conferring over on the sideline. If the Steelers lose it, they'd be 6-5. Detroit has come back on 3 Eddie Murray field goals. Curtis Dickey scored from a yard out for the Colts. Buffalo leading Cincinnati. 14-0 is the count now. Ferguson had gone 26 yards to Butler in that game. No contest for the hottest team in the NFL. Eagles blanking Washington 24-0 in the 4th. St. Louis 21, Dallas 17. There have been 5 touchdowns at an average length of 53 yards in that game. And of course, the game you're enjoying at the half has Minnesota ahead of Tampa Bay. 24-13 is the count there. Let me show you now what has transpired so far in the New England Ram game. It has been a dandy. It was a gadget play that turned it around. Here's the Rams' first touchdown. Ferragamo to Hicks, who just does get into the corner. But then back came Steve Grogan. The Browns have held the Steelers and just taken over. That's live. Now, Grogan to Hasselback, 35 yards, and a Patriot touchdown. Would you believe the Steelers are in that kind of trouble with less than 3 to go? Now, watch Steve Nelson drop back, one of the 4 linebackers employed by the Patriots. He rammed this interception back to the 2-yard line. They scored after that. Then this is the key player, the old flea flicker.
The old flea flicker. This play works more times than not. Ferragamo going deep. Hits his wide receiver, Denard.
And then it was Elvis Peacock for the score. So the Rams lead it. Patriots got down inside the 5, turned it over. How about this for the first play of the game?
It's a way to open up a ball game. The first time you touch it, you go coast to coast. The Giants now are a pretty hot football team.
Bill Sims under pressure here will fumble against Green Bay, and it'll be recovered by the former Lion regular Eddie O'Neill. And then a man who's having a big day for the Packers, Jerry Ellis.
Perhaps the toughest player on the field right now, number 31, carries the same number Jim Taylor wore years ago for Green Bay. Powers his way into the end zone.
Phil Sims, Ernest Gray, 20 yards, their second touchdown. Now watch what happens here on the 4th down. The Giant offensive team huddles, goes off. Here comes the punting team. Now the Packers are saying, what are we going to do? We got to get the punt return team. Quickly call timeout. It cost the Packers a timeout. Later, Sims went to Ernest Gray, 4 yards and a touchdown, and the Giants lead it. Oh, here's Ron Jaworski.
Pretty hot ball club. They have to go to their tight ends inside the 20-yard line. Here's touchdown pass number 1 to Keith Krepley, and a few plays later, he comes back and hits Spagnola, backup tight end, for a touchdown. Jaworski to Spagnola.
And it was that Eagle defense going to work and teeing off on Theismann.
Well, when you have a nice fat cushion, you can go ahead and get after the quarterback, and they do here. Theismann feeling a lot of pressure, goes on into the Eagle rush. Ken Clark gets him.
Now here comes Jerry Robinson, the former UCLA star.
Hey, watch this guy. Number 56 is a linebacker, 3-time All-American player out of UCLA, was a wide receiver in high school. Watch that speed. Simply outruns everybody and trots in for the score.
And then it was New Orleans striking on Manning to Wes Chandler, and back came Bartkowski to Alfred Jackson for a 47-yard touchdown.
Talking about having a hot hand, Bartkowski's thrown, I think, either 2 or 3 touchdown passes today to set a record for the Atlanta Falcons for touchdown passes in a year.
Looking for William Andrews here. Down to the 1-yard line goes that big bull running back. And Bartkowski's just going to take it himself after that.
Quarterbacks are all alike. You know, you get down on the 1-yard line and they take it in, quarterback sneak.
And here's Bartkowski to Wallace Francis for still another score. And mark the Falcons down. They are headed for the playoffs. And here he is again on the play fake. Oh, he looks good. And the Saints look awful. Meanwhile, that St. Louis-Dallas game, well, it's gone like this. Here comes O.J. Anderson.
I really like this run. Here's a guy who's carrying about 230 pounds, sprints right up the gut, goes coast to coast. First time he touches the ball today.
Hart is 6 of 10 for 155 and 2 TDs. This is his first.
Boy, I tell you, the guy who's really been a thorn in the side for the Dallas secondary for years is this man right here, Mel Gray, goes coast to coast on this score.
Watch Preston Pearson with a diving catch here.
White's had a good day. That's a great catch. He's thrown the ball 22 times, completed 13 for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Hart has thrown the ball well, too. 6 for 10 for 155 yards, 2 TDs. There goes one to Tilley.
60 yards on that play, Irv. And then it was Danny White going to tough Tony Hill for 59 yards. Where's the defense in that game?
The thrill of Tony Hill. That's what he called that play.
All right, the Steelers right now, less than 2 minutes and no timeouts left. They're in trouble. The NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations. The AFC has dominated that contest completely in recent seasons. But as Irv reports, there are signs that may be a changing because of a shifting balance of power at one dominant position.
They were the quarterbacks of the 70s, and between them won 7 Super Bowls. Greasy, Stabler, and the Pittsburgh Steelers' incomparable Terry Bradshaw. He brought 4 trophies back to this town and renamed it the City of Champions. The AFC was the dominant conference in pro football, and everyone thought it was because of their great quarterbacks. But in the first season of the 80s, the names and faces are changing, and no one knows this any better than Pittsburgh's number 1.
I think that they're realizing what we realized a long time ago is that you can make a lot of things happen by throwing the football as well as running it.
Play action fake to Peacock, and Ferragamo going deep to Waddy. Jaworski fakes left and goes deep right for Scott Fitzke.
Split the running back to everybody. Flooded out. Bartkowski goes up top, wants all of it. He's got Alfred Jenkins, and he's got a touchdown.
The new look in the NFC comes from quarterbacks like Atlanta's Steve Bartkowski. The 6th year in the league is best by far, and he has the Falcons in first to prove it.
He's certainly playing well this year, and he's got all the talent in the world. Boy, he can throw the ball.
So can Philadelphia's Ron Jaworski. And with that arm at the controls, the Eagles on the best record in the NFL.
They've got the makings of an outstanding football team, and I think Jaworski is absolutely the key to any kind of success that they're going to have now and in the future.
Out west, the future belongs to the Rams' Vince Ferragamo, trying to lead his team back to the Super Bowl.
He's emerged and has taken control, and if he doesn't get involved with the Los Angeles Hollywood build-up and all the garbage that we've been reading about, he's become a big superstar.
And he's not the only one. New York has Phil Simms. Danny White is driving the Cowboys. Vince Evans of the Bears has the strongest arm in the Midwest. And Len Dickey is reviving the Pack is Back slogan. The conference rivalry is heating up.
When we play them, we want to beat them and want to beat them badly. So I would say the rivalry certainly exists.
And it is changing. The quarterbacks of the 70s are about to be replaced.
Irv, how about that young quarterback at Detroit?
Oh, Gary Daniels, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Sorry we missed him in that piece.
How long is Terry Bradshaw going to play? Rumors that he might retire within a season?
Forget about it. He told me he's going to play as long as he possibly can. He enjoys football, and as long as it's fun, he's going to play.
All right. Thank you, Irv. Let's send you back to the stadium now and the game you're enjoying on CBS.
Well, Johnny, we have the #1 defensive team of a year ago, Tampa Bay. We got the Vikings, one of the better defensive teams in recent weeks, and we've also had 5 touchdowns scored in the first half here. A lot of unusual things happening. I guess nothing more so than this very controversial play right here.
I don't think we'll ever see a play like this one again as Williams throws a lateral to Charlie Hanna, who spikes it to the forward side. The ball is picked up and gone in for a touchdown. Everybody thought for a moment, but I think the ruling, I think the officials, when they got together, they came up with the right call, don't you?
Well, they called it the illegal forward pass from Charlie Hanna, and he effectively grounded the ball there. But on his reception, he was eligible because it was a lateral pass from the quarterback, Williams. All right, we're underway with the second half, and Gary Davis gets himself a good return out to the 35-yard line. Henry Johnson, reserve linebacker, made the tackle there, and Tampa Bay will start on offense. And in that first half, we had only 2 punts. They came late in the half. The Vikings had the ball a little bit longer, and they have the 24 points on the board. 246-yard passing for Tommy Kramer. And quite an afternoon, and likewise indeed for Doug Williams with 161 yards in passing. So off we go here. First down, Tampa Bay at the 35-yard line. Ricky Bell out with an injured knee. The first pass is complete to Jones, and Jones is close to the first down yardage. Nate Wright, number 43, made the tackle, and depending on the spotting of the ball, it's going to be a gain of about 8 yards.
And you're going to see Nate Wright gives Jones plenty of room here as he does his turn-in. Has a lot of room to make the grab, and didn't quite get the first down, but it was an easy completion for Tampa Bay.
Well, Nate Wright burned for 2 touchdowns by the rookie wide receiver Kevin House, the second-round pick from Southern Illinois in the first half. Gordon Jones picking on Wright on the first play of the second half. Straight ahead, and he is racked up right at the line of scrimmage and may indeed have lost a little bit on the play. Mark Mullaney and Scott Studwell, a pair of alliterations, made the stop.
So we have Eckwood in the ball game. Ricky Bell is not in the lineup, and which would appear that his knee injury is a little bit more serious than Ted Brown's was.
Johnny Davis goes out. Tony Davis comes in, number 27. Eckwood is the tailback in this formation where Bell would normally be. Pitch out to Eckwood. Eckwood has the first down and gets to the midfield stripe. Now remember, Eckwood was scheduled to start and did not because he has been bothered with a muscle in his calf that's tightened up on him. But he's pressed into service now.
They pull the tackle and the guard. You see Charlie Hanna out there. And Eckwood makes a nice play as he cuts back behind his lineman.
That's the first down rushing for Tampa Bay today, and they have it at midfield. Tony Davis, the lead back. Williams, sideline, complete. Gordon Jones, and Jones shakes loose. One man to beat. Now back into the play as Hannon cut him off. Back into the play came Kurt Knopf to knock him down from behind, but Tampa Bay has first down at Minnesota's 20-yard line.
Let's take a look. 1 for 1, man on man. They put the blitz on. He still gets the pass off, and Turner gets a hold of him. But Jones makes a nice play here as he reaches out. It gets away from his grasp and turns on the speed. Turner misses the tackle, and if it hadn't been for Kurt Knopf hustling from shallow in the field to make a big hit here, Gordon Jones would have had a touchdown. There comes Kurt Knopf, 25.
Kevin House is split wide right. The give is to Gary Davis. Davis finds a good hole and running hard gets down to the 12-yard line. He was stopped by Kurt Knopf, and he had good blocking from George Yarno and Dave Revis on the left side of the Tampa Bay line.
There we have the Buffalo Bills leading Cincinnati 14-0. Or is that a final score? That's a final score. The Bills shut out the Bengals 14-0. So Buffalo has an 8-3 record, still tied for the top spot in the Eastern Division of the AFC.
Tony Davis, Jerry Eckwood are the running backs in the I. Isaac Hagan's 81 split right. Double tight ends. Obranovich and Giles. Eckwood jumps his way over the 10-yard line. He needed 3, and it appears that he has the first down yardage. Should bring up first and goal inside the 10. They spot it just inside the 10. And so Tampa Bay threatening again. Higgins goes out. House comes in. First and goal. The Giants lead Green Bay 24-21. 3 minutes remaining in that game. Lynn Dickey has passed to James Lofton. And a significant score in this division. Let's see what the Bucs can do here. Flares it out to Tony Davis. It gets away from Blair. Touchdown. Tony Davis, the reserve running back who was cut earlier this season, made a big play against a very tough guy, Matt Blair. You beat him one-on-one. You're doing a job.
A nice pickup on the reception of the pass, and then a good move. You don't get away from Matt Blair that often. As you see, Williams is looking downfield, goes to Davis as a safety valve. Davis makes the nice grab, and here comes Matt Blair. He gives him a little straight arm and gets by for the touchdown. Good play by Tony Davis. The Buccaneers are right back in this ballgame.
65 yards in 7 plays, taking the opening kickoff. A 9-yard touchdown pass. Yepremian And a good pickup there by Blanchard, the holder, on the snap, and getting it teed up for Yepremian, who knocked in the point after. And this game is tightened right back up again. A 4-point margin for Minnesota. The Vikings 24, Tampa Bay 20, 10:55 to go, third period. At him there and should have made the defensive play. Yepremian, kickoff to the 8-yard line, Eddie Payton. Number 31, running hard. Shakes a tackle, and good running gets him to the 36. A flag down on the play, and could have been a face mask grab there on that first high tackle that Payton got away from.
I think you might be right, Tim. It looked like somebody got the hand up there kind of high. I don't know if that's what they'll call it.
Here it is. Dick Jorgensen, the referee, signals the face mask penalty, so a good return by Payton turns into an even better one thanks to the penalty. It'll be out to the 41-yard line.
Personal foul, 5-yard face mask foul, number 41, defense, first down.
And so it is Norris Thomas getting the face guard penalty. First down, Minnesota. Kramer is back in at quarterback. Steve Dills had finished the final series of the first half. Kramer, who had such an outstanding first half of play, is the field general now. Play action. Kramer on first down. Flares it out for Young. He put a little too much zip on it, and it was a little off the mark as well, incomplete. A final score, Johnny. Baltimore, well, let's show you this one first. 24-21, the Giants lead the Packers. That game is not over. And, of course, Green Bay coming in tied with Tampa Bay at 4-5-1, a half game behind Minnesota. And the Saints and the Falcons. The Falcons, a final over New Orleans, 31-13. The winless Saints strike out again. But the Baltimore Colts have defeated Detroit 10-9. That is now final. And so the Lions slipped to 6-5. A Minnesota victory would move them into a tie. Ricky Young, a big hole, and first down yardage to the 45 of Tampa Bay. Mark Hockney put the tackle on him, but a good hole on the right side from Hamilton and Yari.
You said it right. Hamilton and Yari both. Dennis Swilley throws a good block. Watch what he does to Cotney here. Ricky Young, he really gives him a shoulder and gets a couple of extra yards out of it. Good hard running by Ricky Young, number 34.
First down, Vikings at the Tampa Bay 45. And as just to recap, as we see that final Colts score, if the Vikings win this game, they will be tied with Detroit at 6-5. Meanwhile, the Steelers have climbed back in front of the Cleveland Browns. Big game in the AFC Central. Kramer on first down. Up the middle, incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Ted Brown. He took an extra lick from Richard Wood. The ball was there. Brown didn't catch it. Ricky Young's 14-yard gain for the first down, his longest rush of the season. We look at number 54, Richard Wood, and Cedric Brown, number 34, really the heart of that Tampa Bay secondary.
You know, Ricky Young once caught 15 passes in a game against New England a couple of years ago.
Good news for Buccaneers fans. Leroy Selman has returned from the eye injury suffered in the second period and is out there at right defensive end, number 63. 2nd and 10, Minnesota. Under pressure, Kramer's going to run it. Kramer pulled down, but he has the first down. At the 35-yard line, Kramer scrambling up the middle of the field gets a first down. And there may be a flag on the play as well. Yes, there is. And it appears to be against the Bucs. An unhappy David Lewis indicating that.
You could see Selman forced him to run this time. They may have called it on number 58, Dewey Selman, right there for hitting high.
58 defense. First down.
Personal foul against Dewey Selman. And a first down for the Vikings at the 20-yard line now of the Buccaneers. So 2 penalties have helped the Vikings drive following the Tampa Bay score. There is brother Dewey. Inside linebacker on the left side. That defensive front, Logan, Selman, and Kohler. Linebackers Johnson, Wood, Selman, and Lewis for Tampa Bay. Robert Miller is in at running back for the Vikings, and he goes in motion, number 35. Up the middle, Ted Brown running hard inside the 10. Wood pulls him down at the 7-yard line. A sneaky little play with Brown getting the perfect pass from Kramer.
That was a nice play. They faked the screen, the little quick pass out there to Sammy White. Then they faked over to Sensor, was over on the other side doing the same thing, and Brown came out of the backfield, slipped through, and got a first down for him before number 54, Richard Wood, made the tackle.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, world champions, have defeated Cleveland today in a big one for the champs. 16-13 the final score, and they are now at 7-4, as are the Cleveland Browns at 7-4. First and goal, Minnesota. Brown takes it outside and turns the ball and scores. Shaking off the arm tackle of Washington, Ted Brown blasts into the end zone, and Minnesota is on the board here in the second half and back in front by 10.
I think his knee is okay.
I think so. 64 yards in 6 plays. The same pattern as the first half, Johnny. These teams can't stop each other.
Whatever happened to the black and blue division?
Rick Danmeyer will attempt the point after. 7-yard touchdown run for Ted Brown. Danmeyer has it. And the Vikings go 59 yards in 6 plays.
It really didn't look like Brown was going to make the touchdown here as he dipped to the outside. They had plenty of pursuit here, but there was Washington, could not hold him back as Brown took it in, touchdown.
Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris here at Bloomington, Minnesota, where the Vikings have opened a 31-20 lead. And the official word on Ricky Bell with that hyperextended knee will not return today. Reserve tight end Tony Samuels, injured early in the first half. A pinched nerve, will also not return. The kickoff is taken by Gary Davis. Davis has some running room. Davis with only Danmeyer to slow him up, and the kicker got enough of Gary Davis to prevent the touchdown. Johnny, they've done it about every way you can think of today. We have had long touchdown passes, short runs, big kickoff returns. It's all happened here in Bloomington.
Here's that touchdown play. You can see he was going to follow Huff, the left guard, right up the middle, and then dip to the outside, and he broke this tackle, which made the difference and put Minnesota ahead 31-20. But now Tampa Bay back in Viking territory in a flash.
59 yards in 6 plays, and now the Buccaneers with first down at the Minnesota 43-yard line. Williams, and he just chucks that one in the general direction of Eckwood out of the backfield. Couldn't find anybody open downfield. It'll be 2nd and 10. And there is a final score. The Eagles continue to roll, whipping the Redskins 24-0. They're now 10-1 atop the NFC East. The Giants lead the Packers 27-21. 50 seconds remaining in that game. It would be the 2nd consecutive upset for the Giants. The Packers, if they lose it, would fall to 4-6-1. 2nd and 10. In motion is Eckwood. Johnny Davis is the other running back. The flag is down. They shoot it out to Eckwood. He dropped the ball. Was not going very far anyway. Johnny Turner was on the spot.
I think they're going to call Eckwood for moving forward before the snap of the ball.
That appears to be the signal.
He botched that play completely.
Williams now 12 for 23, 207 yards passing.
There's just the pass out to Eckwood, who had taken about a step and a half forward before the snap of the ball. The ball hit him up on the pads.
Decline, 3rd down.
You had the call, Johnny. The penalty decline brings up 3rd down. So after the good kickoff return by Gary Davis, the Bucs find themselves in an important 3rd down conversion situation. There he starts to turn it upfield, Eckwood. And that was a little piece of lazy, ill-timed running. 3rd down, Williams with the pressure on here to keep it going. Out for Giles, good catch, and Giles is going to be short of the first down. He got about 8.5 yards inside the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down. Matt Blair made the play on them defensively.
And that was a super catch by Giles. One-handed right out of the side. Just flicked it right out, brought it in, tried to muscle his way for the first down. Matt Blair tenaciously held on and drove him out of bounds. So it's going to be a 4th and 1 situation for Tampa Bay, a very big play.
They're going to go for it again. Tony Davis comes in. A similar situation here yardage-wise. They don't have enough confidence in Yepremian for the field goal from this distance. It would be about a 50-yarder, and they're going to go for it on 4th and about 2. Vikings stopped them last time. Williams flips it out, and it is incomplete. Giles with very tight coverage by Hannon. Tony Davis went over to say, if that's not interference, what is? But there was an official right on the play, and he may have felt that Giles ran into Hannon, that at least he was in the legal area for contact there.
Basically, that's what's happened. They blocked the play action. They just collided, and there was no interference, in my opinion. Tampa Bay fails and falls short.
Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris. A final score, the Rams 17, the Patriots 14. With the earlier win by Buffalo, they are now alone atop the Eastern Division of the AFC. The Rams keep pace with Atlanta. The Falcons earlier with a victory over New Orleans. On first down, Kramer complete to Ricky Young, and he is pulled down at the 38-yard line, a gain of 5 yards on the play. Twice now the Vikings have stopped the Bucs on 4th and 2 inside Minnesota territory. And those have been 2 big developments. They took the ball down the field for Dan Myers' field goal back in the first period. And they have stopped the Bucs here again. After each team in the first half had just marched down the field from succeeding kickoffs and come up with scores. 2nd and 5. 31-20 for the Minnesota Vikings. Ted Brown. Good block, and he turns it upfield in a hurry. Out to the 49-yard line in a first down where Mark Cockney pulled him down.
What a collision between Ricky Young and Cedric Hardman.
Cedric Brown?
Brown. I said, remember Cedric Hardman right there?
Yeah.
And Brown showing no effects from the sore knee, but Young and Brown really collided on that play.
First down at the 49-yard line. Split right is Sammy White, left is Ahmad Rashad. They come out in the eye. Tight end backs off to the wing, in motion now, censored. Kramer play action, deep for Sammy White. Is he inbounds? No, he's out of bounds, and so is the official on the play, who made a sliding signal down at the 10-yard line. At Sammy White did not have both feet and the ball all inbounds at the same time. And it is now final. The Giants defeating Green Bay 27-21.
Now, Sammy White actually had a step on Jordan, and the ball was thrown just a little bit too far to the outside. He makes the catch, and you can see both feet are in the air, and he comes down, and he's out of bounds. A good call by the official, who came sliding in with his call.
Second down, Vikings. So if Tampa Bay can come from behind to win, they can move ahead of Green Bay in the standings. If Minnesota wins, they'll move into a tie with Detroit. Little Statue of Liberty to Brown, running hard, picks up about 5, and it's very slippery over there as he went skidding through that sideline white chalk into the Tampa Bay bench, but is up and all right. David Lewis forcing him out. 3rd and 5.
The key confrontation was number 81, Censor, with David Lewis here, as he kept trying to push Lewis down the field right there, and Lewis came off the block, and there goes the slide into second base. And you can see this is one of the few fields that left where the 2 teams are on the same side of the field. I think Milwaukee is the only other one where the Packers play some of their games, but the benches are very close together.
You see the Vikings on the right, white-clad Buccaneers on the left, on the far side of the field. It is 3rd and 5. In motion back toward the ball, White now turns it upfield. Kramer rolling to the short side, and he is sacked. Dropped the ball out of bounds, so that will have no effect. But Kramer wrapped up there by the linebacker Cecil Johnson, and Kramer a little shaken up on the play.
Yes, so Cecil came in and really put the clamps on him, and I think maybe Kramer's hand got caught underneath as he went down. He was shaking his hand, but he seems to be okay as he's running off the field.
Kramer came into this game still bothered with a sore thumb and a sore finger on his passing hand. Played last week with it. And has certainly thrown the ball well here today. So the Vikings will punt. The Bucks is stopping them. Greg Coleman. Danny Reese standing at the 11-yard line awaiting the punt. Coleman hits it from the 39. Reese at the 11-yard line. Gets out to the 20. A good return by Danny Reese, who does not fair catch him very often. And made a good move there before Fred McNeil stopped him at the 20-yard line. So Tampa Bay will start after that 40-yard punt by Coleman. First down, trailing by 11 with 6:11 remaining, third period. Tommy Kramer's numbers pretty impressive today, and he's apparently all right, but still favoring that passing hand. He won't make anybody's all-ugly team, John. In fact, he is an eligible young bachelor, man about town, and that's caused him some comment from some of the fans and so on who see him in some of the discos and watering holes and whatnot. But Bud Grant says, I'm not too worried about that. He says, Kramer's not a fighter, he's a lover. So he's not worried about Tommy. He's always ready to play on Sunday. Slot formation right. Flared out, and it's taken by Eckwood. Eckwood gets about 7 yards on the play. And it'll bring up 2nd and 3. So the Buccaneers move it upfield, and we see that the Dolphins in front of the Jets 3-0.
The 49ers. Now the Jets lead the Broncos 7-3.
Right you are. I'm looking at two scores at once here. Miami leading San Francisco, and the Jets leading the Broncos. Second, and it's going to be closer to 4 here for the Bucks on second down. Eckwood dancing and running well over the 30-yard line. Will be close to the first down. Tom Hannon, the safety number 45, made the contact, and where they spot it, he does have the first down for Tampa Bay. Dallas in front of St. Louis 24-21. That's quite a battle they have there. St. Louis led it early 14-0. Led it 21-17, and Danny White has passed to Drew Pearson in the third period. 3:41 to play, third period. Dallas in front. First down, Buccaneers. Play action, good fake by Williams. He wants Higgins deep. Higgins makes the catch of beauty, and he's down with a first down at the 21-yard line. A fine catch of the bomb thrown by Williams. Hannon and Turner on the tackle.
And you're going to see him run right by Hannon. Hannon is playing as the deep man as Williams on the rollout. Watch the top of your screen. He turns on the speed, and Hannon is caught, gets his feet caught, and it was a perfect pass right on the nose. Higgins makes the grab, and nobody really tackled him.
That's right. He just fell down. As a matter of fact, I didn't see a touch there by Turner. Theoretically, he could have got up and run.
I think he touched him, just barely touched him, and they ruled that as a tackle.
So it is first down at the 21-yard line for Tampa Bay, and this is some kind of offensive battle today. Johnny Davis, number 38, nowhere to go. Mullaney, the first man to hit him, and then he's wrapped up by Matt Blair, number 59. And so no gain will make it 2nd and 10 from the 21. A 48-yard gainer to Isaac Higgins. And that Williams is just so dangerous with the bomb every time.
I was going to say the same thing. Boy, he has been on target today, hasn't he, on those long passes?
Well, he's worked his way up into the top 10 in the NFC with efficiency, too, in the ratings. And he's passing at 48% on the season, but he's still making the big plays as well. Sideliner incomplete. Intended for Higgins. Nate Wright on the coverage. Higgins looking for some help from the officials, but there wasn't much question about that. Good coverage by Nate Wright.
He sent all 3 receivers down the field. They pick up the blitz, and the pass was just thrown a little bit too much to the outside. Good play there.
Nate Wright on the coverage. He's been burned a couple of times in this game for touchdowns by Kevin House, but he was right on the play there. Tampa Bay 5 of 8 in third down conversions, and obviously with time winding down third period, they trail by 11. This is a big one for them here. 3rd and 9. exhorting the Vikings defense to stop them as they have the last 2 times. Williams is going to run it. Williams has the first down with a scramble inside the 10-yard line. And the big quarterback from Grambling, who's already rushed for 278 yards this year.
And if you take away the quarterback sneaks, he's averaging 8 yards per carry. Good blocking by the offensive line as Williams takes off. Bobby Bryant, number 20, makes the tackle. But I would say that the Tampa Bay offensive line has done a pretty good job on that defensive line of Minnesota. They had a 4-man rush with 1 linebacker and all the rest were defensive backs. But overall, darn good pass blocking by that offensive line from Tampa Bay. And as you know, in the early years of the Buccaneers, they had problems with that offensive line.
Yes, they did. Tony Davis and Jerry Eckwood are the running backs. The pitch to Eckwood. Eckwood off tackle is hit by Studwell, who played it perfectly. And there is no gain on the play. Jerry Eckwood, quite a hit from the young middle linebacker from Illinois. Studwell has apparently taken that first-string job from Jeff Seaman over the course of this season. And they'll often get Seaman in there when they go to 4 linebackers. It's certainly a strength of the Vikings, their fine linebacking core, as the Buccaneers feel about theirs. 2nd and goal, just inside the 10-yard line. A slot formation. Hagan's in the slot. Gordon Jones wide right. In motion goes Eckwood. Williams, lots of time. Trying to hit the tight end. Jones, no, not the tight end, but the wide receiver, Gordon Jones, cutting across the middle, and that was not a good pass from Williams. He could have had a touchdown if he had that one on the money.
His 2 receivers, wide receivers on the same side, did a crisscross, and he looked for him across the middle, and by the time they cleared, because they actually tangled with one another, the receivers, he had to throw it because he saw Mullaney coming, and it disturbed his throwing motion, and he was off target.
So it is another big 3rd down play for Doug Williams. He made the last one on his own. Let's see what he does here. Slot formation right again. House in the slot, 89. Jones, 84, wide right. Again, Eckwood in motion. Williams comes back to Tony Davis, and Davis is into the end zone. Touchdown. Tony Davis just wrestled Johnny Turner into the end zone, and twice now Davis has done that, but a flag is down, and it is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Illegal procedure.
Good coverage downfield. Here comes Davis, 27 out there. He's the safety valve again, and Doug Williams spots him and rifles it there, and here comes Tony Davis. You can't bring him down. Once he gets a hold of that ball, he says, I want that
Illegal
tender.
motion, number 43, offense, still 3rd down.
Eckwood again charged with illegal motion, evidently turning it upfield again off his motion laterally, turning it up a little early, and so twice now that's hurt the Bucs. It is 3rd and 15.
There's no reason for that, because a man in motion should always wait an extra count just to make sure that he doesn't move forward too soon.
Our cameraman Gene Savitt gave you a real good look at the work of Tony Davis on Johnny Turner. To the corner, it is incomplete, intended for Gordon Jones, and it is 4th down. So with the help of Buccaneer mistake, the Vikings have pushed the Bucs into a 4th down circumstance, and onto the field comes Garo Yepremian.
I think Williams was complaining that Bobby Bryant might have hit Gordon Jones right before the ball got there. A very close call, but no penalty was called.
Yepremian will be attempting it from the 22-yard line, a 32-yard try for the Cypriot. And he has it. 32 yards away. Garo Yepremian hits the field goal. And that reduces the Viking margin. 1:31 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Minnesota 31. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23. With the NFL cheerleaders, part of that same show. So the Buccaneers kick it off. Yepremian, who has just kicked the 32-yard field goal, and he slices that one out of bounds at the 20-yard line. He'll have to do it again from 5 yards back. The kickoffs have not been distinguished here this afternoon by either Yepremian or Dan Meyer.
Did you know that Garo Yepremian is the NFL leader in career accuracy?
I do now. What would you care to elucidate, elaborate?
In field goals, he has kicked 201 going into this game out of 298 field goals, and that makes him the all-time NFL career leader in percentage.
I guess, as Coach McKay said, we wanted more consistency than we had from O'Donohue, but they know that he can't kick the long one, and twice today on 4th and 2 from the line of scrimmage out near the 35 in Minnesota territory, they opted to go for it. Both times the Vikings stopped him.
And John McKay says Gary Yepremian's the first normal kicker he's ever known. I don't know what he meant by that.
All right, this one he gets down the middle. Taken by Payton at the 14-yard line. And Payton gets it out to the 35, where Tony Davis and Aaron Brown put the stop on him. But there is a flag down, and we are getting more penalties as the game goes on, it seems. It is evidently against the Buccaneers.
Offsides.
Well, those are the mental errors that drive the coaches wild. I mean, you can be eager on a kickoff team, but you've also got to be onside.
Offside, number 46 on the kicking team. Free kick from the 25-yard line.
That's eager Danny Reese, number 46.
I would say that Minnesota's going to come out with pretty good field position when they get the ball if they don't fumble it, because Yepremian doesn't kick all that deep anyway.
Well, he's now kicking it from the 25. Getting some practice. And there's Danny Reese, number 46, the excellent punt returner and handyman defensive back for the Bucs. 31-23, that field goal by Yepremian, putting the Buccaneers into a situation where they can close up the margin to a point with a touchdown. But they've got to get the ball back. Shadows lengthening across the field here at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington. It's been a beautiful afternoon for football. And you can see the shadows stretched out across this capacity house looking on and seeing quite an offensive display. Good kickoff by Yepremian. All the way down to the 11. Payton with a good return. Eddie Payton gets all the way to the 46-yard line before Rick Burns made the tackle, came up with the ball, but the play had been whistled dead.
That kick was pretty deep considering he kicked it from the 25, but Payton he followed his three blockers who threw the one key block there, got the first penetrating man down, and Rick Burns finally makes the tackle as Payton broke tackle after tackle and is finally brought down.
Yepremian in that picture looked like he was threatening to put a hit on him there, but he also backed off and let Burns make the stop. 41-yard return for Payton. First down, Vikings in Tampa territory. Whistles, flags, and everything stops here. Just as Kramer dropped back to pass on first down. Eddie Payton's had himself quite a day.
Number 73, offense.
Well, that is Ron Yary, the veteran right tackle. Getting started a little early, and thus the whistle. It'll be 1st and 15.
Speaking of Ron Yary, he is now healthy. He's had some ankle problems. In fact, the whole offensive line was banged up for a while, but now everybody's healthy, and they've got a lot of flexibility in that offensive line, and you can see by the way the offense has performed the last couple of games, they have really come around. Key series, this is a key drive for Tampa Bay to stop Minnesota. They didn't stop them the first time, and they've got to stop them now.
They've got Terry LeCount in, 3 wide receivers, Rashad and White with him. Deep open is White to the 3-yard line. Sammy White. Tommy Kramer just loaded up and hit White on the fly. Curtis Jordan, number 25, stopped him at the 3-yard line. And again, these teams just continue to mow up and down the field.
Plenty of protection as he goes back. Look at that. Nobody gets close to him as he throws the ball. How did he get so open? He split the 2 deep men wide open down the middle of the field. Finally, Jordan and Brown come over to make the tackle, but not before Sammy White caught his 6th pass of the day.
50-yard gain.
Here it is again, a 3-man rush, and they're just not getting there. They're not getting there. Boy, is he open. Jordan's way outside. I don't know if they had him inside outside, or whether that was Jordan's man all the way, man for man, and Brown came back just to help out. Jordan's had a rough day, Tim.
The Vikings have an injury on the play to Jim Huff, who just recently came out of injured reserve. Back in at his left guard spot as a starter, the young man from Utah State, and he goes limping off. That will bring in probably Brent Boyd, number 62. Yes, it is. Boyd, the rookie from UCLA. So it is first and goal from just outside the 2-yard line. Ted Brown slashes close to the goal line. They're going to spot it about 1 foot away. Logan was there, number 76, and Kohler, number 77. Kramer is now 21 for 33, has crossed the 300-yard mark, 307 on the day in passing yardage. Second and goal inside the 1, and that brings the quarter to a close here at Metropolitan Stadium. At the end of the 3rd quarter, the score, Minnesota Vikings 31, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23. We now pause for a word from your local station.